This is the turn signal stalk, as you'd imagine, but no high beams. That's because in cars back in the day, this little switch down here operated your high beams. You would simply step on it and turn them on and off with your foot. Hey y'all, welcome back to Doug's Cars. I hope y'all like turquoise and acres of turquoise, because today we're looking at a 1967 Chevy C10 stepside or sit-side pickup truck. Take a look at some base model brilliance here. It's a long bed stepside, so you've got this great area here that's been kind of replicated in newer vehicles with like a step here, so you can actually reach in and, oh, hey, it's wooden. Yes, it was supposed to be a wooden bed in this model. They didn't really standardize to metal floors of the bed until later on. And you can see it's actually got the optional reverse lights. This thing is in gorgeous, gorgeous shape. I do think that those hubcaps are from a later model. They look like they're from like an 80s S10 to me, but I'm not sure. But this is otherwise an absolutely pristine condition. I mean, check out this front end. It's just amazing. And it's even got dice in the mirror. This is a 250 straight six under the hood here, and it's got vent windows. Let's go ahead and pop the hood real quick so you can see how cool this is. Let's see, here's the hood popper, and there she is. Counterbalanced, of course, because it's a GM. You can see it's got manual brakes, but this does have power steering. Look at all the room between the radiator and the grille, and all the room for activities in here. Obviously, this is the heater box, but this is not an AC equipped truck, which means we're gonna get toasty. But yeah, I mean, of course, this is probably nicer than it would have come from the factory, and obviously, it's got, you know, more up-to-date ignition system. But this thing is so nice. And then we'll drop down the hood. Beautiful clang. Let's step inside. But before I do that, I'm gonna point out gas filler, because the gas tank is right there. Hey, look, it's gas tank. It's in the cab with you, keeping you company. Just knowledge that there's 20 gallons of you know, unleaded gas sitting right behind you. So this is a column shift manual. This looks like it's an automatic transmission, but it's not. This is my first time driving a column shift manual, so we'll see how that goes. I've driven plenty of manual cars, but never had the opportunity to drive one that's on the column. You can see the Chevrolet division here in the middle of the steering wheel. Turn signal stalk, of course. Door card is, yep, that's right, it's metal. Got a little bit of a rubber armrest here. Of course, these vent windows. This is the parking brake. To release it, you grab in the back. And to pull it on, you just do that. You can see very, very basic gauge, up to 100, of course. Someone's added on a tack. If you got your empty full fuel gauge, couple of idiot lights, oil pressure light, generator light, turn signal light. It has a manual choke. And then down here, of course, your very basic heater controls. And over there, a very, very metal glove box. But it's got plenty of room. It doesn't have the tilt steering wheel, of course, because this is a very basic option truck. Like I said, it does have power steering, but that's probably the only option. Even there's no radio. I don't believe this came with one, but for some reason the radio delete plate is gone. And then this panel here is where the center vents would be if this did come equipped with AC. And this is, since this is an older vehicle, the key switch for the ignition is there on the dash instead of on the column, where it would be in, you know, the later, what we come to know now as the square body Chevy GMC trucks that came out in '73. And obviously, you've got no headliner, so it's a little echo-y in here, but it's still a pretty comfortable place to be. Let me go ahead and get y'all mounted up, and let's take this for a little cruise and see if I can screw up the manual column shift, or if I can make it happen. Apparently, you're not even gonna get into third gear driving around town in this thing. That's your like cruising gear, so I only gotta go first to second. I hope I can make that happen. Let's see. Sounds pretty good for a straight six. Oh, it's a pretty big one, 250 cubic inch. Oh, yeah, no seat belt. It's got lap belts, it looks like, but let's see, where is it? Yep, that's as far as it'll go. I didn't think it was that big. Okay, so on the brake, let me get the parking brake off here, which I don't really need because it's level. First is supposed to be down and towards you, and second is up like that, and then third is that way. Let's see. First, second, third. I don't want to screw this guy, and reverse is up that way. Okay. I don't got to screw this guy's, truck up. And literally the first time I've ever driven a stick shift on the column. So let's see how I do. She's running a little bit rough earlier, so I hope it'll be okay for me. Second. I'm doing it at a slow speed because I just want to do it. Yeah. No, the second is your normal gear in this, really. I mean, it's so tractable. I mean, there's only 3 speeds to begin with, and that third is for going highway speeds. So you definitely cannot downshift into first unless you are at a complete stop. It is, of course, synchro mesh, but power steering's not bad. She runs pretty nice. The aftermarket tach showing about 1600 RPM right now, which is not bad at all. I mean, the red limiter on, but it's actually set to 5,000, but I don't think this old 250 straight 6 would be happy at 5,000 RPM. I wouldn't even consider doing that. It's probably like 4,000 rev limit on that. But yeah, got the old school transmission whine. Clutch pedal makes a funny sound when you engage it. Let's go. Okay, we're stopped. Down into first. Whoa, 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 there we go. All right. A bit of a backwards roll on the hill there. A lot of steering. Into second. Okay. Hey. Oh, she's got a little bit of a accelerator pump issue. And was doing that little buck and bronco thing there earlier when I got my training lesson on how to drive a column shift manual, which, hey, it's a dying art. I mean, I never did it before because I didn't know anyone who had one since I was driving age. I mean, they stopped making column shift manuals 40 years ago, except on like 1 or 2 models. Because, I mean, American cars were pretty much all automatic unless they were a sports car, and then you had a floor shift, obviously, console floor shift. Huh. It's just, I mean, this drives like a pickup truck, like an old Chevy truck, and that's what it is. It's super honest. It's not going to win any stoplight competitions. Interesting. I'm not sure what that was. Down into first. Let's see if she'll, yeah, okay, here we're good. Up into second. The column shifting manual's fine. It just takes a second to get used to. I think if I drove this another 5 miles, it would be second nature. Wouldn't even have to think about it. Just like shifting a floor shift would be to pretty much anyone else who's ever driven a manual. But I mean, this is the way all the cars used to come. I like having a bunch of stop signs because it gives me a chance to actually shift this thing a few times and get better at this. I like this. This is a really cool truck. Truck prices right now for old trucks that are in good shape like this are through the roof. This thing's probably worth $35,000, $40,000 at like Bear Jackson or something. But this would be fun to just have as a yard truck. You don't need a $50,000 F-150 with all the bells and whistles. You need a $40,000 '67 Chevy long bed stepside. I would totally take this. This thing is cool. Not as a daily driver. For one thing, as you can see, I'm quite sweaty. You're welcome. But because it has no AC. And that's just something that you would need to have if you were going to drive this every day. And these did come with AC as a factory option. This just doesn't have it. So I think that would be a deal breaker for me if I were to use this thing on a regular basis. That power steering is really nice. Oh, I really like that power steering. I'm gonna go ahead and brake on, cut the motor off, and that was a fun trip. I need a little WD-40 for the clutch pedal, but otherwise this thing just rides really nice. I can see why these have been sought after as collector cars now. They remind everybody of their childhood. You know, you see these things driving around, they're all clapped out. People put a million miles on these, hauling around yard equipment and bricks and furnaces and stuff like that, because these were tradesman vehicles. These were not for people who just, you know, wanted to go off-roading or go camping or something like that. They hadn't really quite made it to that level yet. Certainly not in the base trim like this, but I mean, base model brilliance is a huge thing on Twitter. So I'm hoping that more people will find these and restore them. For one thing, it might drive the price down a little bit to where I could afford one, to have one as an additional vehicle. But also, you know, nobody saved these. These were used up and thrown away, especially the model previous to this. But I mean, this generation is very, very, very popular to restore. You can get every part from a bunch of online sources, of course. And then the square body after that, they made them for what, 73 to 87, 88 for the 1-ton models, I think. So those, you know, there's 5 million of them on the roads. This one a little harder to come by, but yeah, highly recommend this. If you get the chance to drive one of these, please do. Also, go ahead and hit subscribe so you can see more videos brought to you by yours truly, Doug of Doug's Cars. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing next, but I do know it's gonna be awesome, and I will be so happy to share with y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.